Okay, my name is Michelle Queen, and Michelle Queen Birch, and I am Vastoria Lucus' mom. Um, Vastoria actually was not born from me, but um, I met her when she was about 3 years old, and I was dating her dad, but I fell in love with her first, even before, me and her dad really established a relationship. So when I went away for a while, all I could think about was Sharell. And Dad had custody of her, and she just was like an imprint on my heart. So I went back and I sat in the parking lot, and when she went to preschool, I was there and he had to walk, so I would take them, and then, through kindergarten and stuff, we were still friends, and I was there, but I was there for Sharell because I loved her so much, Vastoria, and so anyway, we ended up getting into a relationship, me and her dad, and I raised Sharell from 3 years old, 3.5 years old up. She used to sleep on my back. And every time I'd wake up, she'd be on my back. So how I walked around all day. She'd be asleep on my back. And so anyway, we just had this connection that that a mother has with their child, And her mother, Marjorie Lucas, God rest her soul, loved her dearly too. But anyway, as Sharell grew up, she grew up a happy person, loving everybody, taking all the little kids from every little house in the complex and teaching them basketball and teaching them and playing football with them. But she always had them on the court. A lot of them have a basketball thing going on right now in school real good because of Sharell. And she was just a great baby. She would go to people's houses and James Casey and ask them, do you need some dishes washed? Or, elderly moms. Yeah. And took out their trash all the time. And she'd come back and I'd say, where you get money from, because she have her drinks and chips and stuff. And I said, where you get your money? She said, oh, I've been taking out trash and washing dishes around here, Mom. And I was so happy. And then she got her first job taking care of elderly people. She worked for, I can't remember the name right now. I shouldn't be like that because I worked there too. But anyway, she worked for this agency, and she had her own client and everything, took care of her and bathed her and did everything, just all the good things, and took care of that, sick people can't do. And she was really good. And then shortly after that, not even 2 months later, I was going away to go get something to eat, and she said, Mom, I want to go. And I said, no, you can't go this time. This is me and, your older sister. And so I went on. I was on my way up Gallatin Road. And she said, well, I'm just going to go over here to the court with a couple of the boys, And they went over to the court. They played some ball. And as she was walking away from the court, this man that we knew previously, that she had a run-in with, because he came to our home and assaulted her sister, and at the same time assaulted her. And so at the time of him assaulting her, she had cut him, and he had to go to the hospital, but he also went to jail for the heroin that he had on him. And so he come back, and I'm so sorry. She was only 15 when she had this run-in with him. And she said, He come back, I'm so sorry, I want to get her a trust fund, and I want to do this, and I want to apologize for her even being around, when me and this girl got into it and all of this, and I'm so sorry, and played us like he was our friend at the whole time. And we were so upset about him. She was very upset that he had got hurt, and she cried about it and everything. She cried because he was hurt after he hurt her sister. But the thing is, we shouldn't have believed him, because the whole time he was playing all of us and planning her death. 3 years later, and he came back 3 years later, 3.5 years later, and he shot her 15 times in a playground with her basketball in her hand. And she had 27 entry wounds. So that means bullets came out and went right back in a couple times. And I never thought that was possible, but according to the examiner, it is. And of course, she died in that playground. And she was a good kid, and she had her grades going good. She was trying to just, she was going to Tribeca College. She done put in the application, everything, and we had 3 months before school was out, before graduation, when he took her life. 3 months before graduation. And they let me walk and get her diploma. They let me get that, because she earned that. And Tribeca gave her a nice basketball shirt and a glass, for memory. And so many people were there and just loved on us and cared for us. And KHAOS, of course, in his fantastic, great mind that has always amazed me, wrote her beautiful, beautiful poem. And she had, about 160 bikes. She had about 160 bikes that trailed her in her procession, motorcycle riders. And all of them more than you can imagine, more than just, not the whole 60, but I knew mostly all of them, because I was riding at the time myself, me and KHAOS. Beautiful, beautiful funeral, and just, blessed people. It was just, people came out and they really did. And I was so grateful, and I'm sure that Marjorie would have been just as grateful. I never really knew her, but she had a beautiful daughter, and I was blessed to be her mama. And so that's just, the story of my daughter, and she's in heaven now, on God's side. Yep. All right. So we went to court just the beginning part of this year, and the person that killed my daughter, his name not even important, never will be, but he laughed on the stand as the DA showed him pictures of himself walking a whole football field length to where Sharell was at, and just to shoot her and kill her with this gun he had, just to shoot her 15 times. And when we went in court, they had all of it, cameras, everything, showing everything. And he kept denying it was not him. And the judge was trying to be on his side the best he could. Why, I don't know. But this man still, in everything that he did, ended up with 75 years. no probation, no parole. No probation, right? No parole. And 75 years. So he will actually be dead, maybe, before if the Lord allow him to live for 113 years. He will be in jail for the rest of his life. Thank God for
but
that.
But he's appealing.
Huh?
He's appealing that sentence.
Oh, he's appealing it. He's trying to say he didn't have a proper court hearing or something. But you had a lawyer and you had him for a long time before you went to court. The DA had everything on him and had his picture smack dab on the scene. They're doing what he did. No questions asked. It was you did it, and God rest your soul when you get out of the jail or beforehand, because I'm not mad. I'm glad my daughter's with God right now. I don't have to worry about anything.
My name is KHAOS, and I wrote this poem several years ago to dedicate to a young lady that was brutally murdered in East Nashville. This poem is called Farewell, Sharell. I'm scared, afraid. That's what I've been told, she said. No young lovely like her should ever have to live with such dread. Yet her words continue resounding in my head. It must have been hard to study, play ball, and remain a kid. Still, in spite of her fears, that's exactly what she did. I feel like I'm living in a war zone. Standing here at this time in this place, the reality of her fears come rushing home. I don't know what kind of God a coward would serve, but I'm sure he's got no soul. Tell me, how could he treat a young girl like that? Take her life so boldly, so coldly. He was smiling, they say, as he chased her down, took great pleasure in stealing her treasure, and left her alone to die on the ground. They say God makes no mistakes. This time I want to believe them wrong. After causing an angel's demise, why should he be allowed to continue living alone? Then, my faith being strong, sanity returned to my mind, the clouds rolled back, and the sun began again to shine. I can see her sitting, smiling, oh so near the throne. I can now bid you farewell, Sharell. You finally made it home. No need any longer to shed a tear. No longer cause for any fear. Now you reside with the King at your side. From this time forward, nothing but joy and cheer. You may truly rest as you sleep, my dear. God for now and evermore shall always be near.